YouTube channel, we are live. We'll do it live. And the man sitting next to me is the man who runs Peppermill Poker Room and the Peppermill Poker Palooza, one Mike Nelson.
Hi, good to see you, Ben.
This upcoming tournament series is really your baby, your creation, and it's one that I think a lot of people are very excited about. We're about a month away or so from the actual beginning of the Poker Palooza, and I figured that we could give people kind of a preview as to what to expect during that tournament series. Should they come out here to Reno? Should they make the trip? Should they come to the Peppermill? What that tournament series is going to be like. So when did this kind of originate in your mind to have this series and to do it the way you're doing it?
Well, we've been doing tournaments from the standpoint of having a good time and having fun for some time now. Obviously, the pandemic was a problem. So along with shutting all the casinos in Nevada down and the rest of the world, when we restarted, I really started pondering how to restart that. First, it was restart the room, restart the cash games. Now, how do we restart a festival poker environment again after what we've gone through? And it's, pushing 3 years now. So it had to do a lot with the fact that I thought a lot about all things poker while I was sitting at home, not being able to run the poker room. And so that's sort of where the Palooza idea sprung from.
So it's basically going to be how many tournaments? We're looking at 30 plus tournaments or so in that range?
Yes, I think there's 33 total events, a variety of events. I encourage everybody to go look at the schedule, look at the structures, everything is up online. But it's not obviously just poker events. We have events around the poker events. We have a hypnosis seminar, we have karaoke. The cash games, as you know, because you play all the time, are pretty incredible. So it's just a fun place to come. And I'm really excited about a couple of the new events. And I heard you say on one of your vlogs, you're gonna play the all in or fold. And we've done that a lot of times. It's hysterical to watch.
So how does this work? You literally get dealt 2 cards, and your 2 options are to throw them away or to put all your chips into the pot.
That's it. It's that simple. It is one of only 2 rebuy events, and so there will be no shortage of rebuys. It's $50 to get another stack of chips, and obviously you could be out on the next hand, or you get all the chips and go wire to wire. It's hysterical to watch.
I'm trying to even think of my strategy for this. It's like, what do you play pre-flop when it's all in or full? Like, are you just jamming the Queen Jack there? I honestly have no idea.
It's just like every other tournament event. It kind of depends on what your table is comprised of, which players are at your table. If you sit down at a table and they're new to this event, like you will be, and you think you're going to simply fold your way to good luck with that. So my suggestion is that you come with a lot of luck and a spirit of having a great time and multiple $50 rebuys.
Just joining us, we are live inside the Peppermill Poker Room, Reno, Nevada, with Mike Nelson, Director of Poker here at the Peppermill, talking about the $750,000 Peppermill Poker Palooza, the Triple P, not the Paycheck Protection Program, or the better PPP from October 21st through the 31st. Now, of course, when it comes to this, and you want to get on out to the Peppermill, we'll keep mentioning this for those of you who haven't heard it. You can book your stay here at Peppermill and get 20% off using promo code DEECH. And the Peppermill is by far and away the best place to stay here in Reno. I've been saying that since long before I had any affiliation with them at all, and it's just true. And the poker tournament series that are held here have a reputation of being the most fun, and this one should be no exception. So there's basically an entire list of these tournaments that are going to be available. And if you have any particular questions, if you want to slide into the chat, you can do that, and we will try to work that in. And a big part of the reason, Mike, is because as you correctly figured out what I was going to do before I did it, we're giving away a seat to the main event of the Peppermill Poker Palooza. And I was trying to figure out, well, how am I going to give this seat away? And it's pretty simple. the best question slash comment that comes in over this 2-week period is going to win that seat. And if that comment slash question happens to take place during this live stream, then all the better for that person. But we've got a number, and the way I'm going to do that, by the way, is I'm going to just write finalist under everyone who is in the running, and then if they then respond to that comment with their email address, then I can contact them about potentially winning, because obviously a lot of the people are just going to be commenting for the sake of commenting and can't actually get out here. But if you can get out here and you want to win a free main event seat, that's an $880 buy-in PEPPERMILL Poker Palooza main event, which starts on Friday the 28th. I have that right? Friday the 28th, with the final table on Monday the 31st. That'll be what we're giving away here. So at some point over the next couple of weeks here on this blog. So yeah, a lot of people jumping in already. Kevin Smith asks, was it difficult to restart poker operations, or how difficult was it rather, to restart after the shutdown?
That's a great question. So it was interesting because I think only 3 or 4 rooms reopened initially in the state of Nevada. We were the only one in Northern Nevada, and there were, I think, 3 rooms in Vegas. I could be wrong, could be 4. But it was a major ownership decision. Do you reopen poker? And the way I looked at it was, and ownership called me. I'm at home, they're like, what do we do about poker? And I look at these decisions based on the fact that we have a poker player community. So I want to make decisions based on their needs. And I knew I'd been playing online, but I wanted to play live poker. So I figured there was a whole lot of other people that want to play live poker. Now, initially, gaming only let us open 5-handed.
There was one person that really wanted to shoot live poker vlogs. I can tell you that for a fact during that time period.
I know.
I was running out of content.
I know you had a challenge. So yes, it was difficult, but I've said this in many, many interviews. I'll continue to say it. I have the most support from ownership of casinos that I would bet any poker person in the community has. They literally took my word for it, and I said, look, we'll get players. If we don't get players, we can always shut down again, but they're going to play. And it was challenging because, remember, it was hard to get all my dealers back to work. So we're running 5-handed, and all of a sudden we have a dozen 5-handed tables. I have to have enough dealers. So we started up short 5-handed for our first few hours. Gaming changed it to 6. We went 6-handed for quite, several weeks. I didn't restart tournaments. I just didn't have the staffing. So initially it was challenging from a standpoint of labor in particular, but the players were awesome. It allowed me to experiment. It's like all these things I ever wanted to do to the poker room, I sat at home and said, wow, when we get to reopen, I'm going to change everything I ever wanted to change. And the players were incredible.
Well, there's one thing that changed I'm not going to mention, but you know what it is that I love. Anyway, you know what else I loved about that time period was when the poker room was reopening post-pandemic. There was still plexiglass up and the like, but the players who came back to play were the guys you want in the game.
Oh, exactly.
The guys that didn't come back to play were these guys that didn't really risk much in the first time anyway. It's like a risk-adverse scenario.
Exactly.
They weren't coming back to play. It was a dream scenario.
No, it was actually hysterical because the same mentality of a personality that was afraid of the environment, they didn't play. So all of a sudden you had all the most aggressive players at the same table playing 6-handed.
It was so great.
Exactly.
It was the absolute best. If anyone else wants to get any questions in here, we got a number of people in the chat. We got TC, we got Jenny M, we got EP, we got Achilles, we got Isaac. So a lot of people jumping in.
I don't know how to take the word Achilles. Is it Achilles because he has a vulnerability?
I think this is the Achilles.
Or is he really aggressive?
He's the Achilles of Sparta.
Oh, wow.
He's the man himself. He's got an Achilles heel probably.
I'll show a lot of respect.
You'll find him in Troy, I'm assuming. So we're talking with Mike Nelson about the PEPPERMILL Poker Palooza. Now, I am playing in the Mystery Bounty event on Thursday, October 27th. I have not played in the tournament in several years now, and this Mystery Bounty format, which, by the way, one of the players that plays here kind of had me on tilt. He jumped in one of these in Vegas and ran like the best. You've never seen the guy run better in one of these in your life. He must have won like 100,000 bounties.
Just bounties.
Just bounties at the one at the win. But I will say, after hearing that, after seeing these We have this guy Howard that plays here. I think he won the one at the World Series of Poker. It just seems like a great format for tournaments. It's just different. It adds a whole new element. One that I'm not really sure how I'm going to adjust to in terms of the bounties, but tell me about that. What's going to happen on the 27th, because this tournament sounds phenomenal.
So the mystery bounty event will probably be, for its buy-in size, I would guess is going to be the most successful event because mystery bounty. Obviously, somebody somewhere invented the mystery bounty idea. It wasn't us. There's some things that we've invented here that is everywhere now, and there's some things that we use that somebody else invented. It's kind of the benefit of other people's imaginations along with your own. But the mystery bounty, our version is called a top 40 mystery bounty. So, because we want to do it in a single day. So it's not the case of where you're going to come back on a day 2 and get bounties. So it's 100,000 guaranteed, 550 buy-in, $50 goes to dealer staff, $500 to prize pool. So while I'm talking about tournaments, one of the things I want to emphasize is the value of our events are really good. There's no additional money, there's no 3%, there's nothing else. When you see a 550 or an 880 or 125, the bulk of the money is going to the prize pool. Now, in the mystery bounty top 40, it's 100K guarantee. The first 50,000 goes to the bounties. So there's 40 bounty envelopes. Nobody pulls a bounty envelope until there's 40 players remaining. If you and I are in the top 40 and you knock me out, you go up to the drum and pull an envelope. The least it could be is 500. The top prize is 10,000. So, and you can get many of those bounties. The more people you knock out, the more bounties you get. The rest of the prize pool, 50,000 and up, will go to the prize pool side. So it's going to be a blast, and it's going to be really fun to watch when you get down to people going up and pulling those bounties. And you can get multiple, you can knock out 2 or 3 people at once and pull 2 or 3 envelopes.
Well, let's go through some of these other tournaments, and you can comment on the ones you want to comment on. You already talked about All In or Fold, which is going to be on Tuesday the 25th. If I can care, I will be in that tournament. That is the boundary. That is the boundary I have to overcome. But if I can do that, I will be in there. We also have a mixed game championship the following day. I will not be in that one. And mixed games, haven't really given them a shot, but there are a lot of people love mixed games, and it's only $125 to get into that one. So I can see a lot of people liking that. What else? We got a PLO pot limit Big O on Thursday the 27th. And then it takes us in kind of to the main event type tournaments. Oh no, there's also a tag team.
Correct.
No limit hold'em tag team, which that does sound fun. 200 plus 40, so $240 tag team tournament. So how does that? Just 2 people, they switch out whenever they want. And
yes, it's straight tag team. So as long as one of the both players play at least one hand, we're good. And that one is one of the most raucous events that we have. It's loud. There's a constant rail going on, and it's the tag team event. It's a blast. And you know, I think I made the tag team event one of the championship events. Correct? Does it have a medal on the tag team event or no?
No, it does.
Okay,
yes.
So that's a championship event.
Okay.
So and then obviously they both get a medal.
Right.
But what's fun to watch is when you see teams that have 2 different styles of play. You've got one really aggressive player and one really tight player. It's really funny because you watch the rail and you watch the aggressive player going nuts because his partner is folding. And then you watch the conservative player when he's on the rail or she's on the rail going crazy because their partner is jamming all in with King 7. It's hysterical. So the tag team event is really fun.
I really hope Mr. C plays in that event. And
Oh my gosh, who could be his partner?
Well, I think Reno Grinder actually might, but that would be the exact dynamic you're talking about. Where
Exactly.
Reno Grinder doesn't play a single hand, and Mr. C is jamming L in every time.
Every hand,
yeah.
exactly.
And then afterwards, they'd bust out, they'd go smoke the tree in the parking lot. That's what would happen after that. Exactly how that would go. That's how that would play out. But by the way, Mike absolutely loves it when Mr. C, Reno Grinder, and Bob G are all in the same game, and they all leave to go smoke the tree together in the parking lot. Mike loves that.
Yeah.
Leaves the game six-handed.
Not my favorite thing to happen in the ring. I just shrug my shoulders and go, really? You know.
And it seems to happen every single day.
Of course, after they come back, the game's usually, really mellow for a minute.
Oh yeah, right. All of a sudden they're feeling really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, okay. Christian writes in, along with tournaments, you often see a lot of cash gamers come along for the added increase of people? Are there any plans to somehow augment the cash games with added jackpots, etc.? I'm not sure how that would work. Augmented cash games, I don't think I've ever seen anywhere. But I know this. The cash games are going to be good. That's what I know.
So if his question is, am I increasing bonuses or things like that to incentivize cash games, it's really not necessary. The action is so good. And his question is right, though. There are many people that come here during the event just to play cash,
right,
which is fine because the cash will be off the hook. Plus, I'm really excited about, because we haven't done this since the pandemic, I'm really excited about more people from out of town understanding our cash game format, because the value in our games is unparalleled, but they won't know it until they come here. And so when you find out that you're playing 10-20 no limit for $5 per half hour time rate, I talked to a guy in a tournament the other day that's from London, and he was like in disbelief, and he's on his phone texting everybody he knows. It's a really fun environment, and it's really value oriented, and so are the tournaments.
Well, I've never seen a place, I don't think there's anywhere in the country with lower rake. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I don't think that there is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's, it's not like you guys are running a charity, so to speak, but you've recognized the fact that that taking a lower rake will result in people coming back for longer periods of time over years and years instead of just busting them and eating them. I mean, it just makes sense to do it that way. I think, which has always been one of the selling points to me about playing here. $5 a half, which I don't know if you play 5, 10, and it's probably going to be what, double that or more. I mean,
oh, for sure. Well, what's funny is there's a huge value to the small games that people don't realize, and it's a little counterintuitive for people that are really, really tight players. They don't quite get it at first, but as you know, the secret to the games is having action, and time rake really creates action over time. Even players that are normally tight realize they should play more hands, and the more hands they play, the more fun everybody has, whether it's a cash game or a tournament.
Right, and we've certainly seen that here of late. Now, one of the questions that I've gotten the most that I wanted to give you the opportunity to address, people always ask, is why go to a one blind format?
Oh, okay, I love this question. So again, I'm using the same term. It's counterintuitive, I get it. People will come up to me and they'll say, why do you have this, blah, 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 blah. And this is how I answer them. I say, have you played here before? No. Go play, and then come back and I'll sit down and talk with you. Because what they don't expect is they don't expect there to be more action than a two blind game. But that's reality. And that goes back to when we started at the pandemic. This was kind of an accident. I honestly sat at home and said, how do I get rid of chopping? Because I hate it. As a player, I hate it. It's not good for the game.
Right.
I just don't like chopping. So I never imposed any kind of rule for that. And I thought, well, gosh, I have to open the room 5-handed. So I got to give the players as much value and as much incentive as I can to play. So we opened up 5-handed, one blind, cheap rake, and ripped hands out, and cleaned a lot of plexiglass, by the way. And
that got ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The only good thing about, oh gosh, it's going to sound so unprofessional, but you guys didn't really complain about Kayla cleaning plexiglass in the room.
No, most men didn't.
No, that was okay.
No, most men didn't.
But what I watched is these 5-handed, then 6-handed games with one blind, no chopping, and the games just ripped. There were more hands, there was more action. Nobody folded. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is really kind of cool.
Because you would see a lot of times where the button would be like, I'll let you guys chop.
Exactly.
And he'd fold a hand.
Exactly. And they would fold hands like ace-10
right
on the button. They're like, oh, I have ace-10, but I'm going to fold so you guys can chop. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so bad for poker. And so when we went back to 9-handed, it was an experiment. I said, I'm going to keep the single blind, and I'm going to watch these games. I watched them on camera. I watched them live. I counted hands. I went to surveillance. I was really curious. I'm like, oh my God, this is actually better. And it doesn't make sense, but it really works. I mean, you play all the time.
Yeah.
How many times do you see a walk to the big blind?
I mean, pretty much only when I'm in the big blind with aces does it ever happen.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
but
fair.
it really never does.
Does it really happen, right?
And it has, for whatever reason, it's created more action since it happened. It's one of several things in this room. The other one I'm going to continue not to mention. The removal of one individual that has really sprung this thing, made it amazing around here. But it's weird. People ask me about it all the time. But it just is what it is. It's kind of become a staple of the Peppermill now.
I love it. I'll admit it was an experiment. I mean, I thought it would work, but I'm a guy who listens to his intuition and then checks the math.
Right.
You know, and it just works. The dealers love it, the players love it, and you know, because we have such a liberal straddle rule, there's no shortage of action or availability.
Well, I was going to ask you about that too, because it's not just. It seems like everywhere now. I mean, I was playing at the Oaks. Winter Straddle was on. It's been amazing the way that straddles are just everywhere now in poker. It seems like, and it's just become kind of the norm, no matter where you go. And that certainly is the case here. Like, I'm going to jump in this game here. When we're done doing this, it's going to be $5 blind, $10 winner straddle, and the same thing's going to be happening on table 5 over here later on. It's going to be a $10 blind,
Correct.
$20 winner straddle. Which, by the way, I'm taking one viewer's advice. He said, just be a sniper, Ben. Just be a sniper. Just find that game when it's good and just jump in. But, you know, the times where there's 2 or 3 pros, just avoid it. That's perfect advice.
Okay, well, they've never played with you. So here's the problem with that advice for you.
Yeah.
If you don't get a hand to snipe with for an hour, you're going to be playing 6-7
Oh, no,
for a raise.
he doesn't mean that. He means times I jump in the game. Like, just be very selective when you jump in. You know, because there's been times that game's been unbelievable. And there's been times where there's 2 or 3 pros, like a week ago, I don't know. It was probably about that, so.
No, that's very true.
And
that's
then,
true.
But I guess for me, this 5-10 game's been going so well, I don't even want to screw with it. But there will be times to jump in that game. But the straddles are just everywhere, though. Not just here, but everywhere in poker, it seems like. Maybe that's because the value of a dollar is going down, but that's what we're seeing. It's just the way it is. And I like it personally.
I think straddles. I think straddles are more beneficial than blinds. Blinds feel like forced. Yeah, they feel forced. They feel like it's a rule, and straddles are more community oriented, and especially like the way we do winter straddle. It's like the table basically votes it on. I mean, we approve it, but I mean, very rarely does somebody in the game say, no, don't do
Almost
this.
never.
Yeah, almost never. And so now it's the players deciding the size and scope of the game they want. And that's what I'm all about. That's why I like table transfers. I like all things that are freedom and give poker players the most flexibility.
And
I know we're off of Palooza, but I love cash games.
I know. Yeah, we're off of Palooza, but and the cash games will, for those of you that come out here, and again, we'll continue to mention it. October 21st through the 31st is the Peppermill Poker Palooza, but you can come anytime and use promo code DEECH, 20% off your stay. We'll have a link in the description of this. I'll put that up later. There's already a link in the description of the last vlog if you want to find that exact place to go to. Book that stay here at the Peppermill, 20% off, promo code DEECH. And for those of you who have, what would you say to that? For people who've never stayed here before, because you've now worked here for over a decade now. This is around a decade.
Yeah, this is an amazing property. Again, hats off to ownership. I mean, we're constantly upgrading. We're constantly trying to improve the property. It's the kind of place that you want to visit. It's the kind of place you want to work. We have really good employee retention. We have a really good team here, and it's a beautiful property. What I'd like to see happen with the Palooza is I'd like to see groups of people come, family units come, spouses come, boyfriends, girlfriends come. If you're not a poker player, go to the spa.
Yeah.
You know, go to the spa, hang out. And for sure come to karaoke.
Oh yeah. We got to touch on that too. There's a number of non-poker related things at this Palooza, right? What do you want to point out there? You mentioned the karaoke that's going to be happening.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of crazy little things. It's funny because there was something just in the social media. There was a karaoke at another poker event. I think that's awesome. I think it should be. I think that's the trend that we should do, which is make poker events more of a destination type
Yes.
event, more fun. It's more fun for everybody, and I love it. I'm like, oh, they're doing karaoke other places now. That's so cool. I mean, last time we did it, we had over 200 people up in the nightclub, singing karaoke. Some very well, some very poorly, I might add. The more alcohol, the more on the poorly,
Yeah,
but
that
it's
makes
a
sense.
blast, exactly.
Yeah, so that's
it's-
gonna be-
it's- it's fun.
That'll be on the 25th at 9 o'clock, karaoke night at Edge Nightclub. People will come in here when they come in on Monday the 24th. There's the Palooza welcome dinner.
Yes.
That's going to be going on.
Yep,
That's
it's free to all the players. Everybody comes in. We have dinner, drinks, welcome. I'm doing a lot of little things that I think are cool for players. On the mini main and the main event, we have a day 2 breakfast that morning for all the players. So we're doing that. I'm looking forward to hypnotizing some players.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you what is going on there.
Okay, so legitimately, a lot of people want me to do this in a more entertaining way, but this is actually more educational than anything. So when I played full-time poker, I did not sit around the poker table and announce to people that I was a hypnotherapist. It didn't seem really intelligent to me to explain that to people.
But for those who don't know, Mike did play full-time poker for a number of years, and I've always said that in terms of why it's an asset to running a room is because Mike did it back in 2009, 2010. That is what you did. I mean,
exactly.
Obviously, you've had a number of things, being ex-military and everything else, but you did take a couple of years, and that was your income source primarily. So
Yeah, I played full-time for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I was still playing full-time when the PEPPERMILL persistently reached out to me to come run the operation. I'm like, it wasn't as easy a decision as you think. I wanted to do it because I was curious, but it was hard leaving playing poker full
Yeah.
time. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it is a benefit to have played a lot of poker, most of my life poker. When I look at things in the operation, from a customer service standpoint, from the way the games are designed, and tournaments are the same way. I really dove into the tournament experience, both from a playing side and an operations side, trying to make it that balancing thing to be really fun, have good value, but run really well with good dealers and good staff. We're all humans. Players make mistakes, dealers make mistakes, but it's how you cope with that and give really good service.
so that'll be.
Oh, the
on
hypnosis.
Yeah.
Lost my train of thought.
10:30 on Thursday the 26th, right before the mystery bounty.
Right,
actually,
it's right
which I'll
before
be
the
in, so-
mystery bounty, and the name of the seminar is basically Understanding Tilt. And tilt is, a little spoiler alert, hypnosis. That's what's really happening. When you see a person, you see that person get that really brutal beat, and you see their eyes glaze over, and they're about to do one of two things. They're about to give you all their money or get really, really lucky and double up. And that's a function of your subconscious. And as a hypnotherapist, I'm going to demonstrate it, I'm going to explain it, because I'm really into the educational side of poker also. And I love poker because it's a people game. Poker is a beautiful, challenging game. And I learned to play chess when I was 5 years old. And one of my favorite things to tell people when they get beat by variance or luck, whatever word you want to say, is, you know what, you should learn to play chess then. Because, and part of poker is luck or variance, however you want to describe it. But you know what? It makes the game sweeter. It makes it sweeter.
Yeah.
How boring would this be if only ever the smartest people won?
Right. No one ever played.
No one would ever play. We'd have
Big
no
problem.
poker room.
Yep.
Yeah, so we need that.
Need that.
And it makes it exciting. Sometimes frustrating,
Yeah.
but exciting.
But understanding tilt, which you're going to talk about in
Yep.
that seminar, is, what do they say? 90% of money is won and lost from steaming. I don't know how true that is, but that's kind of the old adage.
I don't know, but
That-
you
that
should
can
definitely
happen.
know what caused you to
You should
steam.
definitely know what caused you to steam. Yeah, we've all steamed before, so that would be good to know. That's for sure.
So I'll hypnotize some people, and then so they can see how you get hypnotized, and then talk about it and take questions, and it should be fun.
Yeah.
I hope it's fun.
Right.
It would be more fun if I was hypnotizing you to do kind of some funny things, but
Well, I know. I mean, everyone has their price, I guess. I don't know. And so all right. So the Peppermill Poker Palooza, October 21st through the 31st, with the main event starting on that Friday. My hope is to do a meetup game. Hopefully here on this table here it would be a great place to do it. Try to organize that as well for those who come in for this. So stay tuned for more on that. But either way, for those who come out here, book your trip. It's going to be fantastic. Promo code Deech at the Peppermill website. The link is in the description of the last vlog, and we'll have that up here on this as well. So hope to see a lot of you. It's the first time I've ever tried anything like this, getting people out here to come play, because I wouldn't just say it if it wasn't a great time to actually do it. Come out here, $750,000 in guarantees for this series, and the cash games are going to be phenomenal. So we look forward to seeing any of you who may come out here to Peppermill, who've never been here, been wanting to come, who've seen the vlog. This is the place to be. So I think that'll wrap it up. Unless you have any parting thoughts you want to
here's
share
your
with our
new
listeners.
hat. I know it's not a Knights hat, or Niners or Giants. But
All right.
You're one of the first people
Thank
to
you.
get it.
All right. So gear, we do have gear, and that's always good. So
If you make a final table,
oh,
you're going to have a hat. We're going to toast the final 9 at every event with a glass of champagne, and trying to get them as drunk as possible, speed along the final table.
well, I'm going to vlog this mystery bounty event. Either way,
I can't wait to see the vlog.
so that
on
will
Mr.
be
Bennett.
something. I don't know how exactly it's going to go, but we're gonna vlog that, show people one way or the other. So that'll be fun. Hopefully, we can rip off the $10,000 bounty
There you go.
that is in there, knock some people out. Even though I got a feeling people are really going to want to knock me out. That's where though it's going to happen, and people are going to be taking shots at me, and probably one of them will succeed.
I should
So-
have got you a bullseye hat. So I
Yeah,
should've got
well,
you
I
that.
don't even need it. It's going to be there anyway. With or without the hat, people will. I will have one on my forehead.
My dream in the mystery bounty is that the winner, there's one envelope left, and it's $10,000.
And yeah.
That's my dream.
That would be cool. If no one's claimed it, it's the one left.
The winner gets the last
wow.
envelope. That would be pretty
awesome.
cool.
All right, Mike Nelson, Director of Poker here at Peppermill
Thanks, Ben.
Poker Room. The Peppermill Poker Palooza coming up. That'll do it for us. I'm going to go shoot a vlog, and hopefully not lose too much money. And
luck.
we'll have that coming out for you on Monday.
Very cool.
All right.